Hello, my dear students. How are you? Hope you are absolutely fine. Today, I'll discuss some numericals on laws of chemical combination. Your first problem is written here. That problem 1, that 10 gram of lead on heating gave 10.78 gram of lead oxide and 9.775 gram of red lead, that is Pb3O4, on heating give 9.545 gram of lithouse, that is PbO, lead oxide. And the third case, that is 4.87 gram of lead peroxide or lead dioxide PbO2 on heating gave 4.545 gram of PbO, lead oxide. Now, so these results illustrate the law of multiple proportion. So here, in each case, we have to take one exact value of lead. We are taking that 1 gram. In 1 gram lead, how much oxygens of the different compounds are combined, that we have to check. Okay. Then we will take their ratio and we have to check whether they are simple ratio or not, or simple whole number ratio or not. So from the first problem we are studying, okay, that in first case it is given that 10 gram lead combines with 10.78 gram PbO. So 1 gram lead combines with 10.78 divided by 10 gram PbO, that will be near about is equal to 1.078 gram PbO. So now we have to calculate how much oxygen is present. So 1 gram lead combines with 1.078 gram minus 1 gram oxygen, that will be equal to 0.078 gram oxygen. So from the first combination or first example or first case, that 1 gram lead combines with 0.078 gram oxygen. Next we will calculate the second case. In case 2, 9.755 gram leads combine with 9.545 gram of lead oxide. So from the first example we know that 10.78 gram lead oxide is formed from 10 gram of lead. So this 9.545 gram lead oxide is formed from how much of lead? That will be 10 divided by 10.78 into 9.545 gram lead. That will be equal to 8.854 gram lead. So in 9.775 gram of Pb3O4, okay, what will be the amount of oxygen, that we have to calculate. So the amount of oxygen will be, that will be 9.775 minus 8.854 gram, that will be equal to 0.921 gram. That will be the amount of oxygen. So here we have to calculate that in 1 gram. Okay, so 8.854 gram lead combines with how much amount of oxygen? 0.921 gram of oxygen. Now 1 gram lead in this case will combine with how much gram of oxygen? That will be 0.921 divided by 8.854 gram of oxygen. If we calculate, you will get the value 0.104 gram of oxygen. Next we will calculate the case 3. So in case 3, there is 4.87 gram of lead peroxide on heating gave 4.54 gram of PbO. So in this case, again we can write that 10.78 gram PbO formed from 10 gram of Pb. Okay, so 4.545 gram PbO formed from 10 by 10.78 into 4.545 gram of lead. If we calculate, then we will get the value 4.216 gram. Then again we have to calculate the amount of oxygen in PbO2. The amount of oxygen in 4.87 gram PbO2. That will be, amount of oxygen will be 4.87 minus the amount of lead, that will be 4.216 gram. It will be equal to 0.654 gram oxygen. So now we can write that 4.216 gram lead combines with that is 0.654 gram of oxygen. So in this case, that means lead dioxide or lead peroxide, 1 gram lead will combine with how much? It is 0.654 divided by 4.216 gram of oxygen. That will be equal to 0.155 gram of oxygen. So now our table is ready. Then we will write the result. In each case, we have calculated the 1 gram lead combines with how much of oxygen. So first compound was PbO. So here amount of lead was 1 gram and amount of oxygen combined, that is 0.078 gram. In second case, the compound was Pb3O4. So here 1 gram lead combines with how much gram? We have calculated 0.104 gram. And in third case, that is lead dioxide or lead peroxide, 1 gram lead combines with 0.155 gram. So to establish the law of multiple proportion, so with 1 gram lead, the oxygens combined, their ratio will be, what is the ratio of oxygen? 0.078 is to 0.104 is to 0.155. So if we take their ratio, we will get 3:4:6. Since this is a simple ratio, so the above results establish the law of multiple proportion. Okay, so in this way we can easily, any other example, in case of other example also, we have to take one element mass fixed and in different compounds the other elements ratio we have to calculate, and if we get the simple whole number ratio, then we will establish the law of multiple proportion. Hope you can understand. Next we will discuss another example. That problem will be based on the law of reciprocal proportion. Now first we write the problem. Problem number 2. Ammonia contains 82.35% of nitrogen and 17.65% hydrogen. Next is given that water contains 88.90% of oxygen and 11.10% of hydrogen. Nitrogen dioxide contains 63.15% oxygen and 36.85% of nitrogen. Now the question is given, so these data illustrate the law of reciprocal proportion. So in this case, first we have to draw the triangle. Okay. So 3 elements is present here. One is hydrogen, one is nitrogen, and another is oxygen. So hydrogen, another is nitrogen, and another is oxygen. When nitrogen is combining with hydrogen, it is forming ammonia, and when hydrogen is combining with oxygen, forming H2O, and N and oxygen, nitrogen and oxygen combining with each other, forming that nitrogen dioxide N2O3. So here we have to take the fixed mass of hydrogen. Okay, so in first case it is given that in NH3 17.65 gram of hydrogen combines with 82.35 gram of nitrogen. Here percentage is given, we are taking that 100 gram compound is there, then 82.35 gram will be the nitrogen and 17.65 gram will be the hydrogen. Now here we will calculate in case of 1 gram of hydrogen combines with how much amount of nitrogen, that will be 82.35 divided by 17.65 gram nitrogen. If we calculate, we will get 4.67 gram of nitrogen. Now in case of water, 11.10 gram of hydrogen combines with how much amount of oxygen? 88.90 gram of oxygen. So here also we calculate 1 gram of hydrogen combines with how much gram of oxygen? That will be 88.90 divided by 11.10 gram of oxygen. So if we calculate, we will get 8.01. So now with the fixed mass, that is 1 gram hydrogen, the amount of nitrogen and oxygen combined will take the ratio. Okay. So I am having this problem. Now here, what will be the ratio of nitrogen and oxygen? They are combining with the fixed mass of hydrogen, that is 1 gram. That will be equal to 4.67 is to that oxygen will be 8.01. Then what will be their ratio? 1 is to 1.72. If we calculate, we will get this value. Now this nitrogen and oxygen combines each other, forming nitrogen trioxide. Okay. So now in N2, now in N2O3. Okay. What will be the ratio of nitrogen and oxygen? In numerical it was given that 63.15% oxygen combines with 36.85% of nitrogen. So here the ratio will be 36.85 is to 63.15. Now if we calculate, we will get 1.1 is to 1.71. So if we look at these two ratio, that is almost same. Okay. Hence it illustrates the law of reciprocal proportion. Hope you can understand. Next we will discuss the atomic mass and isotopic mass. And you will practice other problems from your textbook. Okay. Atomic mass and isotopic mass. You have already know from your lower class, from class 10, about atomic mass. Again I will explain it. The atomic mass of an element is the average relative mass of an atom of the element as compared with the mass of 12C atom taken as 12 unit. So what will be the atomic mass? Atomic mass will be the ratio of mass of one atom of the element divided by mass of 1/12 atom of carbon, that is C12. Okay. So atomic mass is a ratio. It has no units. Generally we write atomic mass as AMU. Unit as AMU. So it is called atomic mass unit. Atomic mass unit, or sometimes we write U, that is called unified mass. Actually that 1 AMU or 1 U is equal to 1 U is equal to the 1/12 into the mass of one carbon atom, mass of one C12 carbon atom, 12C carbon atom. So if we calculate, okay, that is, we know that if we think about the 12 AMU or 12 gram carbon in case of C12, total number of atom will be the Avogadro number 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. So here it will be 1 by 12 to 12 by 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. Okay, in gram. So from here if we calculate, we will get the value 1.6603 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. That will be equal to 1 AMU or 1 U. Now atomic mass of the most of the elements are fractional numbers because they actually represents their average atomic masses. This is because of the elements have isotopes. We can think about the chlorine. Okay, chlorine has two isotopes. One is 17, one is 35, another is 37. So Cl 35 17 and Cl 17 37, and the abundance of this 35 mass chlorine, that will be 75%. This is 75% and this one is 25%. So here we have to take the average. So what will be the atomic mass or average atomic mass of chlorine? Atomic mass of chlorine, that will be equal to 35 into 75 plus 37 into 25 divided by 100, that means 75 plus 25. If we calculate this, then we will get the value 35.5, that is a fraction. So that is why we are getting fraction in case of atomic mass. Okay. Now we will discuss the gram atomic mass. So what will be the gram atomic mass? It is the atomic mass of an element in grams. Suppose we can think about oxygen. What will be the gram atomic mass of oxygen? Okay. So we are considering atom. So it will be 60 gram. Next we will discuss the molecular mass. So in case of molecular mass also, you know that it will be mass of one molecule of the compound divided by 1/12 mass of one carbon atom, that is C12 carbon atom. Okay. Now if we think about the big molecules or polyatomic molecules, then we have to take the summation of the atomic masses. Now what will be the gram molecular mass? Gram molecular mass will be the mass expressed in grams. Okay, that the molecular mass expressed in grams. Suppose if you think about oxygen molecule mass will be 32 mU. So what will be the gram molecular mass? 32 gram. Very easy. Already you have learned this part from your class 10 mole concept and stoichiometry chapter. Now what will be the formula mass? Formula mass is the sum of the atomic masses of various atoms represented by the formula of an ionic compound. We know that in case of covalent compound there is concept of molecule, but in case of ionic compound we have to write formula. Next we will discuss the determination of relative molecular masses of gases. There are three common methods used to determine the relative molecular masses. These methods are molar volume method, and by using the ideal gas equation, that is Pv is equal to nRT, and by Graham's law of diffusion. So here we will take one example so that we can easily understand. Here one numerical is given, the volume occupied by 112 ml of a gas at NTP is 0.14 gram. Calculate the molecular mass of the gas. Calculate the molecular mass of the gas. So here we know that in molar volume method 22.4 liter or 22,400 ml of a gas at STP means 273 Kelvin and 760 mm pressure or 1 atmospheric pressure weight equal to its gram molecular weight. Now in this case 112 ml of gas at NTP weight will be equal to 0.14 gram. Now if we calculate this 22.4 liter, that means 22,400 ml of gas weight will be 0.14 divided by 112 into 22,400 gram. If we calculate, you will get 28 gram. So what will be the molecular mass of the gas? So here molecular mass will be 28 AMU. Okay, that will be your answer. Next we will discuss that the molecular mass of a volatile substance. In case of molecular mass of volatile substance can be easily determined by one popular method, that is called Victor's-Meyer method. A known weight of the volatile substance is converted into vapors by dropping in a hot tube. The vapor displaces an equal volume of air which is collected over water, and the volume is measured at the observed temperature and pressure, and the volume of dry air displaced is converted to volume at STP using gas equation, that is Pv is equal to nRT or P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Now this volume is equal to the volume of vapors at STP and its weight is equal to the weight of the volatile substances. Now from this the weight of the 22.4 liters of the vapor at STP is determined, and in this way this is equal to the gram molecular weight, and we can easily calculate the mass of a gas. Next one numerical on this part or on this topic, that is Victor-Meyer method, we will try to solve here. The problem is given that in Victor-Meyer determination, in Victor-Meyer's determination of 0.1019 gram of a volatile substance gave 32 ml of vapor. Collected over water at 27 degrees centigrade and 756 mm pressure. Calculate the molecular weight of the substance. here it is given that aqueous tension at 27 degrees centigrade will be 105.1 mm. So here the gas is collected over water. Definitely in gas there will be water vapor also. So during the calculation of pressure we have to subtract this aqueous tension to get the pressure of a dry gas. So in here we will apply the formula, that is P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. So P1 will be here 756 minus 105.1 and volume is given here, that is 32. Now temperature is given 27, we have to convert it into Kelvin, that will be 300 Kelvin. That will be equal to pressure, that means standard pressure, that is 760 mm of Hg. Now what will be the volume, that is our question. And next the standard condition, that temperature is 0 degree, that will be 273 Kelvin. So if we calculate the V2 here, we will get the value 24.94 ml. Now here one weight is already given, that Victor Meyer's, that 32 ml of vapor, we are converting the volume into STP. Now its weight is 0.1019 gram. So 24.94 ml of vapors weight is equal to 0.1019 gram. Now if we convert into 22,400 ml of vapors weight, that will be equal to 0.1019 divided by 24.94 into 22,400 gram. So if we calculate, we will get the value 91.52 gram. So what will be the molecular weight? So molecular weight of this substance, volatile substance, will be here 91.52 AMU or U. So hope you can understand. In this way you have to practice this type of numerical. So today up to this, okay. Next day we discuss the Avogadro numbers and mole concept and their problems. Okay, thank you.